Morning, Pisces. This is your week of September 22nd through the 28th, and the entire deck just started to fall apart on me, so maybe your life is starting to fall apart or move quickly all of a sudden. And just to prove it, your first card is the Chariot. Not your direct sister sign, but the sign that shares the moon with you. So, and I don't want to do a reading on this, but there is a second moon that's going to come into the Earth's orbit soon. And even though it's going to be way too small for us to actually see, it's just large enough that I'm kind of curious as to what kind of effect it's going to have. So, maybe something you want to check out. Maybe you're into astronomy. But anyway, back to your read. The first card is for Sunday and Monday. The second card here is going to be for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And your last one is going to be for Friday and Saturday. Well, overall, it looks like you are going to be getting a message at some point, possibly due to the moves that you make on Sunday and Monday. For your Monday or Sunday Monday card, it seems like you are going to make progress, but not exactly in the way that you want to, and not with what it is that you want to. And that is a good combination to have, though. Cards coming out just while I'm sitting here shuffling will be clarifiers for you. And if I feel like I need to pull a card to clarify, I will. If I don't, then I won't. But it looks like the Magician popped out for you to clarify your Chariot for Sunday and Monday. These movements that you make on Sunday and Monday could just be small. Someone else might not even notice the changes that you're making or the things that you're doing. But you are making them, and you're making them for good reason. You're trying to bring something into existence, and while it's not necessarily and you just got a gaggle of cards to clarify for your Eight of Wands, but we'll get to that in a minute. For your first set of cards, it looks like you're just gearing up to do something, like you're organizing things. You're putting them where they need to be, where it's going to be easier for you to grab them whenever, at a moment's notice, suddenly you need to move on something. For your Tuesday and Wednesday set, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Not everything is necessarily as bad as you think they are, but you don't want to look at the actual problem. There's 5 things that you need to leave in the past, and since it's a swords, that's most likely ideas. ideas of how people see you, ideas of how things are going to be, ideas of relationships you should have had, but they were things that only were in your mind, that you couldn't bring into the real world or into your romantic relationships, your practical existence. And if you step towards these other 3 ideas, you have a chance of unblinding yourself. But you're in a spot right now of stagnation and you're in a spot of stagnation right now, and you may be in a spot where you are afraid to move because you don't want to offend anybody. This is leading to isolation and making you feel like you've lost your way and like maybe you're not right, but you don't know what to do to fix it. And you do have for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, your first card was the 8 of Swords. Your second one is the Hermit. And the third one is the 2 of Cups reversed. Now, I don't think this is an issue between you and another person. I think this is more of an issue between you and yourself. You may have lost your way in how it is that you need to communicate with yourself. Other people could have been making you feel guilty about something, and because of that, you're beating yourself up for them. They don't even have to lift their finger to make you feel guilty about anything right now. You're doing all of that emotional heavy lifting for them, and this is causing you to be unbalanced. This is causing tension in you, and the only one that can actually fix that is you. No one's going to come out and say, oh, why didn't we not like that, or how can we fix this problem, or because they have their own ideas about who they are and who you are, and at this point they might just say that, well, you're wrong about who you are, this is who you are, because this is the effect that you've had on me. And you know what, at this point, I am a Cancer. I am a fellow water sign, and like I mentioned earlier, while Cancer is associated with the planetary body of the moon, Pisces, you're associated with the tarot card, the moon. And I want to put that in there. I want to put that perspective out there because as far as I see it, you're going to do your thing and they can deal with it. They're going to have their opinions. There's nothing you can do to change those opinions. All you can do is what you do. Sorry, I put it like this. Do your little orbit around the world. Let people have their opinions about you. Shine their light on you whenever it's convenient for them. And then take it away when it's convenient for them. And everyone else will see what they want to see. And they will either see you as a full moon, a new moon, a half moon, the eyelash of a moon. But it doesn't matter how anyone reflects on you. It doesn't matter how other people choose to see you, whether it's on a good day, on a bad day. It's a part of your cycle. And this is for men and women. This is a part of your cycle of life. We all go through different phases and changes, and we pull on things around us in different ways. And it's most obvious whenever we're talking about the moon. Whether it's the astrological sign or whether it's the tarot card of the moon. It doesn't matter what you do, eventually, people are going to see you how they choose to see you, and they're going to understand what they see, how they either choose to see you, or how life has taught them, and they've just taken the lesson out of hand, just, okay, that's what I'm supposed to think about this, so that's what I'm going to think about this, and they have no problem, some people have no problem painting that, using that to paint everyone around them with the same brush and disregard the reality of the person or their situation or what they may have gone through. I had a whole rant that I went on the other day and I didn't post it, but I may clean up the whole idea that I have behind it about how I keep coming across this idea of why would a 21-year-old girl have the audacity to give me life advice? Why would, and I'm not 21, this is what somebody else was saying about, like, one of the 21-year-old life coaches on YouTube, okay? And they didn't say who it was, but there's plenty of people out there. Take your pick. But it's not about whether or not someone is giving advice and telling people this is how you should be living your life and you just need to do this and you just need to do that and oh, it's easy, just do this. It's like you cannot discount someone because of their age. Just like you can't rely on somebody's wisdom just because they're old. They could have gotten old through luck, through everyone else covering their ass. You don't know what they've been through in life and how they've handled life in order to get to be that age. You would hope the entire reason behind respecting your elders, or the entire idea behind respecting your elders, is they have, which is really something that should roll over to everybody that you meet. And which is why I think people are kind of disregarding Pisces, and that they're dreamy, they're always in their head, their ideas are impractical. Anyway, I just went on that whole rant again. The entire idea behind respecting your elders is, on a respect level, is that they have learned how to carry themselves through the turmoil that life has handed them. And they may be able to glean some wisdom to some of the things that you're going through. A lot of times, depending on the person, that is not the case. With other people either taking care of them or covering their ass or getting them out of trouble, or they're only there by the grace of God. Sometimes, swear to God, some of these people are only still here because of the grace of God. But I mean, that was the whole idea behind respecting your elders. They have learned how to carry themselves through life, and hopefully they've learned how to assist without requiring payment for everything. Like, there's a certain grace of subtlety that some people have that doesn't need to be taught. They just picked it up. And Pisces, I think that's actually something that the entire sign of Pisces has. But not everybody sees it that way. So, I'm going to try to stop ranting and get back to your reading, but you do have a pile of cards over here. The Eight of Cups just came out. This could be you trying to give some kind of communication one last shot before you move on. And because this is the Rider-Waite, I'm going to say that, and this is a Pisces reading, look at the moon in this card. Is it a full moon? Is it a crescent moon? If you think about it too much, you'd say that the closed eyes, the closed mouth is the dark part of the moon, but is it? Is this a planet eclipsing the moon? Is the moon eclipsing the sun? And the moon has cycles and ways about doing things, and it just does it because that's the way it does things, and it has a way of affecting things, which isn't always positive, but there is a cycle and a rhythm to it. And if you can get into the cycle and rhythm of your life, Pisces, this is probably going to be the key to you breaking through some of these barriers that you feel that you have. And I'm not going to go too far into it because it's stretching a little bit long, and I'm not sure how many people are actually going to care to hear me rant anymore. But we also have the Tower that flew out, which to me is a good card, but the Fool, the Two of Wands, the Moon. And so the middle of this week is going to be busy, and you're going to wrap everything up very quickly at the end. And if anybody's been confused about who you are or how you are, you may very well let them know, and then they can either take you at your word for it, or they can go kick rocks. This might be, I want to say this might be a Gemini. But, because I just did the Gemini read, and there was a statement about sticks and stones may break my bones, but you'll use the sticks to mend your wounds, to, you'll use the sticks to bind your bones, and you'll use the rocks to build a house to protect yourself if you're a Gemini. So you may want to go and see the Gemini read, just in case something hits home, but you do have the Tower there that came out, and I'm going to say that's for the middle of the week. That's a change, and it's going to enlighten you to how a situation really is, or how someone really was. And by the end of the week, you're going to be manifesting quickly. You're going to suddenly either come into money, or you're suddenly going to be moving someplace and making decisions. Still, for the middle of the week, we have new beginnings. So whatever this Tower is, it's paired with a new beginning. So you may not be sure how that's going to come about, but it is a new beginning, and it will help you shed some of your past that you may have been holding on to. Or this may not even be a physical past or a relationship. This just could be you putting a pin in something and saying, okay, that's where that is, and then this is where I'm going now, and that's where I'm headed, and you don't look back too much on that problem or that person. But you also have the Two of Wands, and as much as this is seen as a pairing or an alignment, it does look like he's leaving one support system and grabbing another. Because these are considered walking sticks, right? So, and it's also the magician's tool. So, you may be choosing to pick up one way of thinking, one way of acting, and leaving another one behind. Because it was not stable. Stability is a fallacy, and it's a lie, and you may be seeing through it. You may not be sure how you're seeing through it, but you are choosing another elevated way of thinking and acting. Even though you fear change, because you fear change, this has the meaning of fearing change here, but then you have the moon in reverse, and it says release the fear, so that's going to be where you find your stability at. This could be somebody else's fear that you had been holding on to and agreeing with for the sake of getting along. And as much as you've been misrepresented or misunderstood, you don't really seem to care. They want to live in the darkness about how you are, about how they actually are, how they come out to the world. That's their problem. There could also be someone trying to get in on your new beginning. Or trying to have something to do with it, and you may not be as welcoming as they want you to be. You may choose isolation over dealing with that person. If there's any third parties trying to, or any dietary ideas trying to affect the way that you're thinking or affect what you're trying to do, it's likely that you're not going to suffer the fool or a foolish idea. So essentially, you're not allowing other people to put their baggage on you just to get along. If they want to do something, they can go off and do it on their own. That's how you see it. But you're doing your own thing, and I know the Three of Cups comes off as overindulgence and partying, but in this position, I don't think that's what that is. I think it's just isolation, you saying that, no, that's great, I have this thing, you have your thing, my thing is not your thing, I'm going to do my thing, you go do your thing. Someone may be trying to stick their nose in something that you're trying to get done, and you're not having it. And this pretty much just reinforces that one, so they may insist that they need to be a part of this, and they're not bringing anything to the table. It's like you're trying to build a house over here, and they want to take some of your materials and go build a teepee. You're trying to do things for the long term and have a stable foundation. And they're trying to say, hey, look, I did something. Hey, I can build a house too. I can build shelter too. But they're not trying to do the same thing. but they're going to insist that they are. Okay, back on track. Friday and Saturday, and then I will let you out of here, Pisces. This Eight of Wands, like I said, movement, speed, information coming in all of a sudden, things going your way all of a sudden, blockages are removed. You have the Two of Pentacles that came out in this random stack that just flew out all together. You'll be multitasking Friday and Saturday. And Friday and Saturday, it's going to... that feels exhausting. But you'll be able to adapt to any changes that come your way and get everything done. I know that I didn't include Sunday in this, but it does feel like Sunday you're just going to be at a dead stop. Also had the Page of Wands. So even though you know you have things that you need to get done, you may not be sure where they're going to lead you or what you're going to need to do with them. Somebody could be bringing an idea to you, but whatever idea it is they're bringing to you is not going to be one that you want to hear. This could be something like someone believing that you're a Christian and in reality you're an agnostic spiritualist. Or someone saying that, oh, well, you're Catholic because your parents were Catholic and you were raised Catholic. And you're standing there like, yeah, but I haven't been to church in 30 years. Or I've never been to communion or whatever ceremonies. And they're like, oh, well, you should do that. And it's like, why? Why should I do this thing? And they don't have any reason as to why it is that you should do that. Other than, well, that's what you should do. Why? And it might not even be anything to do with religion. It's just a new spiritual path, creating conflict. It just seems like this person is coming in with an idea of, you should do this because, well, why not? Well, give me a good reason as to why. And they don't even have an answer, so. And the Lover's coming up. You have a choice to make, but it's not going to be one that you explain to anybody else. It's nothing that anybody else knows about. And yeah, I know it's called the Lovers, and it's about relationships and union, but the old card used to be choices. So essentially it's another way of saying the Two of Wands or the Two of Swords. But really, I try and see the Lovers as what you're aligning yourself to. How are you aligning yourself? How does the moon align itself to the earth? How does the earth find its place in the universe? It's through gravity. It's through kinetic energy. It's through karmic energy. Kinetic, karmic, both start with a K. Alliteration connects things, so you may have to choose between whether or not you're going to act as a karmic force in your own life or as a kinetic force in your own life. Karmic would be a path of consequences, and kinetic might be a way of propulsion. Using the energy from one thing to move to another thing. Putting the energy from one thing towards a path that it wasn't originally deemed for, but on a path that could benefit its influence. And that may be what brings you around to the Wheel of Fortune. That could be what causes your life to change. So at the end of the week, Looks like you will have a lot of fast changes going on, and you may not even know how you got where you're at by Saturday, Sunday. Be prepared to move quickly on whatever choices that you have, because most of the choices that people present you with this week are not going to be worth even considering. They might just be coming into they might see you doing something and think, oh, well, they're doing something, they're up and active, so let's see if we can ruin that. They're back in town, let's see if we can figure out why and get into the middle of whatever their business is. Hey, I haven't seen them in a while, let's see if we can rehash the old problems that we used to have in a different way and see if we can find any absolutely no answers at all, just start another fight and just circle around back to the same crap. Be careful on how much you put up with this week, Pisces, just to be nice, because And with that, I'm going to end it. I do have dailies, weeklies, and monthlies up, so I think I have nothing. Or we're moving on to October, so I do collective and zodiac readings. I try to tag everything right, but it doesn't always go as planned. So tune back in, and I will see you later.